Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Ludicrous Feed live on Wednesday night. I'm your host, Tom from Ludicrous Feed. Thank you so much for joining us this Wednesday, 25th of October, 2023. Hope you're all doing well wherever you are in this world. I just want to quickly shout out to our sponsors real quick before we bring our regular guests on. And that is, thank you very much to Carloop, Wallbox, and EV. Check out the video description below for coupon codes for Wallbox and EV. So thank you very much to our sponsors. And if you're watching us on live, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you leave a comment. And also, if you're watching us on replay, drop a comment as well. And hello to everyone listening to us on audio podcast, wherever that might be. Let's say hello to our regular guests, as always, Riz from Carloop and also Rahul Prasad. Hello, gents. How are we both?
Hey Tom, hey Rahul, going well. It's chilly and apparently hailing down here in Melbourne.
My goodness, I've heard that as well today. Some inclement weather in late October. Rahul, how are you?
Evening, Tom. Evening, Riz. Yeah, we've almost like it's winter in Melbourne and we're almost at the end of October. You know, what's happened to summer? We don't know. But hey, you know what? One thing never fails. Wednesdays, 8 p.m., Ludicrous Feed Live. We're here. Hail, sun, rain.
We'll make it right. Rain, hail, or shine, we're here for you guys. Talking EVs and renewables as always. Hey, hopefully down in our southern state, you guys are staying warm at the moment. Not too bad in Sydney, but I think we're going to get our fair share tomorrow. So I'm not celebrating too much just yet. I want to say hello to our viewers. As always, we've got 77 viewers already, gents. 2 minutes in, so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us live. So we've got Hal. Hey, Hal, nice to see you there. We've got Tassie Thalasign watching from Tasmania. Hello there. Gaffer's on. Hey, Gaffer. And H2 Rider's on as well. Mark is agreeing with you guys there. Winter's back in Melbourne. Looking forward to tonight's show. Sensei's with us. Hey, Sensei, from the upper north shore of Sydney. Aircon is on cool 17 degrees. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable, 17 degrees. And we've got, SWS, nice and warm up in Queensland. Just showing off the SWS, of course. I'm glad you're feeling warm up there. Brenton at GC Tesla, howdy y'all from Hot and Steamy Goldie. Yeah, very good. Lovely news today. Queensland government promises on electric vehicle charger every 150 kilometers across the state. Yeah, we'll chat about that tonight for sure. Thanks for reminding us, Renton. That's great. And Tassie had to drive with the new Dolphin BYD today. That's great. And I'm hearing too, gents, that both the BYD Dolphin and the BYD Seal, all variants got the 5-star and CAT rating today too. So good news if you are waiting on a Seal or Dolphin. It's going to be very safe cars. Awesome. Got SP ordering a Model 3 in the next few days. Congratulations. That'll be good. And yeah, cool. And what else have we got? 22 degrees in Tungabi in Sydney. Good. So Tassie's saying Dolphin Mare, but the Ioniq 6, yes. But there's definitely a market for both. Yeah, different segments of the market, isn't it, Riz? I think you've driven the Ioniq 6 as well.
Yeah, slightly different. Maybe the Ioniq 6 with the Seal. I don't know. Maybe similar sort of sedans, but I think everyone's sort of looking for their own type of EV, and there's a lot of people looking for the Dolphin electric hatch, and as well as those that are looking for a more sleeker sedan, the Ioniq 6.
Yeah, that's right. So different segments. I'm glad there's more cars definitely on the market at the moment. I'm currently got the Fiat 500e at the moment, test driving that, zipping around Sydney. I'll find some nice tight streets for you to do my video on as well. So looking forward to showcasing what that car is about. Speaking of Seal, let's put on this story to start with, everyone. There it is. The BYD website crashes as 50,000 customers check out newly launched electric Seal. That's your article, Riz. Was that 50,000 on that first day we did that live stream?
Yeah, within 24 hours. So we had about, I think, 49,700 viewers join the live stream, and they jumped onto BYD Automotive's website straight after and just crashed it. So thanks, everyone, for joining Ludicrous Feed. And the other 300 were waiting for me at the official launch. So they all jumped onto it, and 50,000 just crashed it. Apparently, that's the story according to Luke Todd. So but the website was back up. Apparently, it was only down for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we tried logging on live, didn't we, Rahul? That night we couldn't get on, and I mean we were probably 50,000 and first visitor trying to get on, but or first and second, but no luck. But we did get on afterward, and I certainly ordered a premium seal, so looking forward to test driving that eventually. But yeah, so that's good. I mean, Luke Todd is the CEO of Evee Direct, which is the distributor here in Australia for the BYD Seal. A lot of interest for sure. Now that it's got a 5-star ANCAP rating, I think it'll sell well for sure. Right, so let's see, what else have we got? By the way, if anyone has got any stories for tonight, let us know in the comments as well. We'll put something up if there's enough interest for sure.
Just quick. Oh yeah, Charles. He's traveling the country.
He is traversing across the country in his Model 3 to head to the Australian Electric Vehicle Association Expo in the next couple of weeks. So check out his Facebook page, Charles on Charge on Facebook. You can see what he's doing at the moment. Riz, I interrupted you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we needed to hear from our main man, the roving correspondent, Charles Gregory. He's touring the country. Last year we met him in Canberra as he put his car onto the Spirit of Tasmania and eventually made his way back to Canberra. And this time he's doing the bigger trek out west. So I've been following what he's doing on Facebook, and yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Lots of good stories to tell. Charles can do it. We can all do it.
Yep, that's commitment from Charles. Well done. He's the man for charging, that's for sure. So thanks for joining us, Charles. All right, so Matt's joined us too, and he's saying, I sat in the Seal in Brisbane on Saturday and a Dolphin and test drove on Atto 3. Seal and Dolphin are very impressive. Well, that's good to see. Excellent. Say hi to Faisal as well. Thanks for joining us, Faisal. A lot of members on as well tonight, gents. So good to see. Thank you for your commitment and engagement, everyone. Yeah, we should probably talk about this Queensland government news, actually. I'll see if I can find the article. I had a look at it this week. Where is it?
Yeah, Queensland keeps going strength to strength. First, sort of such a good rebate program, and now fast charging infrastructure. I don't know what our friends in Victoria are doing, but they should be paying close attention, especially when they go over to a holiday on the Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast or in Brisbane. Just check out what the Queensland friends are up to.
Yeah, here's the article here in the ABC. Queensland government promises an electric vehicle charger every 150 kilometers across the state. That's pretty good. I assume this is DC fast charging. I would say if it's 150 across the state, across their major arterials, that's pretty good, gents. I think most electric vehicles these days can do at least 150, if not 200 plus. So you should be pretty covered.
Well, and think about this, like from a if this complements the federal government's 150 kilometer per charger NRMA rollout, there'll be a lot of chargers very soon.
So here's the commitment here: $42 million project, installing an extra 2,500 electric vehicle charging stations over 3 years. I mean, Riz, how does this compare to the New South Wales funding so far?
I think the New South Wales funding is definitely invested. I can't remember the exact figure, but definitely tens of millions of dollars when it comes to fast charging infrastructure. The last major grant that BP, Tesla, and others got a fair share out of, I think was over 10 million from memory. But Queensland's doing it big because there's a lot of tourism in the state, and people want to be able to get out to far north Queensland and out west to Toowoomba and onwards. This is great. Such a large state. Geography obviously is a little bit different. Towns aren't as well connected as they are in New South Wales. So this is wonderful news.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'd love to take a long road trip up there to the far north Queensland, but I personally would like to see at least 4 DC fast chargers, at least 100 kilowatts each one, with some backup AC would be great as well. That way you're not waiting for anything, and that way you also, if someone's using one, or you're using both, you don't have to wait too much longer, because with more charges, it's higher turnover. And reliability is always an issue, gents, with non-Tesla DC fast charging at the moment. So I'd like to see some sort of accountability as well with all this installation happening across the country. I saw some pictures this week of showing the NRMA network as well in not NRMA, so the AEVA network in WA. WA charging network in WA with shelter as well. That was pretty impressive.
So yeah, one of our viewers, Richard Laxton, is out doing a trip. He's coming the other way. I think Charles and himself are gonna meet in WA, in Perth at the EVA conference. But he's going the long way around, North Queensland through Darwin, back down south. I think he's up Pilbara way at the moment. And yeah, he's sharing quite a few pictures of what's happening out there and these new chargers going up. And they've got it's like an arch type of a shelter that they've got on some of those sites. Great to see they're learning and they're actually implementing it, which is awesome.
Yeah, I want to try and find some of these pics of his some of these shelters that I can see. Yeah, that's what we want to see. We want to see shelter over them. We want to see facilities nearby. Make sure they're working as well. Let's see if I can find a pic of this one. This is from PlugShare. If I can pull it up here. If anyone's got any links to let us know. So there we go. That's this is actually in the NT, and it's actually the NRMA. I was right the first time. Solar panels on the top. We've got a few chargers there, and a few EVs as well. So I think this one is open. 25th of October. That's today's photo. So there we go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Nice. Let's see anything else. Yeah. So that's the photo from 2 days or yesterday. Shelter, lighting, 2 EV chargers, possibly maybe even that's a CHAdeMO plug, isn't it? But at least there's 2 stalls there on the red earth.
Tom, any idea of what that battery size would be, or has NRMA said anything yet?
I don't know actually. As in the charging speed.
Oh, are these battery augmented chargers? Like, is that blue thing a battery?
Not sure.
Okay, cool.
Could be. I mean, they've got solar panels on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, look at that. I mean, that sunset in the back, solar panels on top,
Yeah.
2 chargers, the red dirt, amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously travel in that region is getting a lot easier with these chargers going in as well. So whereas I think somebody else posted, I think, was it Richard? He was like, when you drive an EV, you look for plugs everywhere. And he was like in a grocery store or a supermarket or whatever, and there was a 3-phase or a 5-pin plug up on the top there. And he's just like, yep, EV charging right there. Mind you, the fridges were obviously connected to the plug there, but that's what it used to be like back in the old days. And obviously now becoming a lot easier to travel around the country as well.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of more chargers, let's have a look at this one. So this is some new RAA EV Rapid and Type 2 chargers at Churchill Centre in Kilburn on the ChargeFox network in South Australia. Chem Power chargers there, which is good. Good to see some variety, gents, not just tritium all the time. Nice colours there.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it's good. I do like the design of these things. I know the cable's pretty heavy. Riz and I have travelled to Canberra in the MG4. We had to look at some of these on the way. But I like the fact that they're long, so you can pretty much reach any port, no matter what car you drive as well. So yeah, it's good. And some backup Type 2 charging as well. Very good. Cool. Let's take some comments.
I think it's a great idea. I just want to quickly say this. I think they're doing it in Queensland as well. The fact that you've got a DC charger, but if it fails for any reason, you've always got a backup AC charger as well.
Yep.
That's an absolute foolproof method of ensuring that somebody who needs charge will get that charge, even if it's going to be a little bit slower, or at least enough charge to get to the next destination where they can recharge again as well. So whoever's doing this with the backup AC charging as well on a separate circuit, by the way, so it doesn't, compromise the AC charging as well. That's fantastic to see. I really love it.
Yeah. And I think the New South Wales government funding was also contingent on backup AC charging as well. So yeah, you're right, Rahul. That's, I think we need that for sure. Because, unfortunately, reliability is still an issue in 2023. I find that the AC chargers around town generally are more reliable. I don't know about your experience, gents. They generally work better.
100%.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, let's take some comments from the audience. We've got Ben saying New South Wales supercharger announcement today is amazing. Finally can drive direct between Sydney and Adelaide. Okay, I'll have to look at that comment or that post. I don't remember seeing that one. Let's see.
Yeah, I haven't seen that comment either. And while we're doing that, Tom, just quickly, I want to mention as well that another Tesla supercharger site has popped up in Wangaratta.
Mm.
And I think that's a 3 or a 4 stall as well. So I think that's a third Tesla supercharger that's now cropped up in Victoria, which hasn't been announced by Tesla, but it's just sort of popped up on its own there.
Yeah, it's just quietly adding to the network there, isn't it? I think these are V3 that I can see. I only see one plug. Normally they come in threes, gents. I don't know why this is a 4 one, unless there's some out of the shot that we can't see. Cool. Well, it's good to see. Yeah, very good. Ali's saying got my Model Y. Build quality is incredible. Excellent.
Awesome.
Good. What else have we got? Manya's saying my trip from Melbourne to Noosa in February is looking a little dicey. Only 2 fast chargers in Noosa. There are Tesla superchargers, I think, on the Sunshine Coast, though. Maybe not as many non-Tesla DC chargers. Oh, Daniel's saying Highland orders have started to be delivered to customers in Europe. Yeah, let's have a look at that article. So
I think this might have been in the Netherlands.
There it is. Yep. So there we go. Riz, this is your article again from today. New Tesla Model 3 deliveries kick off in Europe. Australia still next year.
Yeah, so we've had left-hand drive Model 3s being delivered in the Netherlands, Germany, France. So yeah, they've made it to Europe. Customer deliveries have began. Apparently China is going to be in the next couple of days. So yeah, we're still sort of the right-hand drive markets. Most of them are still in Q1 next year. So I think all the teething issues should be resolved by that stage. So that's a positive.
Yeah, that's right. It's one benefit of getting things a bit later. Just see all the problems and issues from overseas, and then hopefully they'll improve it for our shipments for next year. Are these cars coming out of Gigafactory Shanghai as well?
Yes.
Yep. Nice. Cool. Yeah, be good to get some real world reviews from overseas. They do look very good, especially in that red and also the stealth grey. Is that stealth? No, that's probably black, isn't it?
It looks grey. It looks
grey,
like dark.
yeah.
And yeah. But then again, it could just be the shade.
Yep. Hard to
It's
tell.
very cool.
Question for you is from Jasper. I just read your write-up regarding 117 NRMA chargers rolling out across the nation. Is there a list of when these will be up and running in their particular areas?
Yeah, good question, Jasper. We don't know because they started out a couple of weeks ago. They rolled out Mudgee, I think, as a location in New South Wales. And since then, we haven't heard too much more. They made a big deal out of that one to say this is the first one. But ideally, what we should have, these government-funded sites, is a bit of a progress tracker or when these sites go live or what's next. I know it's hard for them to do this sort of stuff because there's a lot of planning and a lot of things that they rely on. But yeah, it would be good to, even if it's like EV Networks, when they launch a couple of sites, they put it on their Twitter and X and other channels. So that would be good.
Or some sort of newsletter, or like a newsletter that they can subscribe to, get an update every now and then as to where they're up to, just to give us a timeline.
BP is doing that. So yeah, that's a good idea.
We did have the New South Wales team from that department. I think last year, Tom and Riz. Perhaps we should look at getting them back on and seeing how they're progressing with the rollout of the charges and the grants, and get some more information from them. At least if we can.
Yeah, good suggestion, Rahul. I'll reach out to them again. Try and get them on before the end of the year. So stay tuned, everyone. Steve is saying hopefully the Queensland government 150 kilometer rollout is across regional inland Queensland, not just the coast. Yep, that's right. Good point. We've got Matthew saying, in my opinion, the Seal will be a real challenger against Tesla. Very keen to see how the initial sales interest figures eventuate. The BYD crashing should be a canary in the coal mine for Tesla. Gents, I mean, what are your thoughts on this being a real challenger? Will it sell as many cars as Model 3?
Well, you heard it here first on Ludicrous Feed.
Oh, good.
BYD has had around 1,000 orders for the Seal.
Okay.
So I guess we'll leave it to the audience to make a judgment on whether it's a Tesla killer or not. But there seems to be good interest for a sedan, so that's good to hear.
Yep.
Yeah, and when you say also that it's exponential as well, so those 1,000 orders, I think that it gets delivered from December 2023 onwards. Am I correct now?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Imagine 1,000 sales on the road from, say, December 2023 onwards, leading into the new year, into that first quarter. Exponentially, the people who are going to see them, and these people are going to buy them, are going to show their friends, family, or whatever at that price point, because people are going to compare, apples and oranges and go, well, hey, this one's this and this one's this, but I get so much bang for buck with this. And that was the thing that got me on that night when they did reveal the pricing and the sale as well. Was the pricing was just so good for the amount of money that you're spending, the amount of features that you get, interior, exterior. For a lot of people, that's going to be you can't go past that deal. Is my thought anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't hide how shocked I was at the the dynamic variant, $49,888. It's just, that was a shock to me. I was hoping to be having a 5 in front of it, but having a 4 was just even better. So, yeah, you're right, Rahul. It's going to be a nice alternative for those who may not necessarily want the minimalism of Tesla. They're not too worried about the full self-driving or the the autopilot. It's if you want the, I guess, a more conventional, traditional looking layout on a vehicle with a dashboard screen, then yeah, I think the Seal is definitely worth looking at. It's a nice alternative from if you want a sedan, for sure. Now, I heard too that the Atto 3 today, or was it yesterday, I got an email saying that they're adding $500 extra to New South Wales orders in terms of rebate. So you get $3,500 off if you were to buy an Atto 3 in New South Wales. So if somebody can confirm that for me as well, I'm pretty sure that was sent out for New South Wales people. So yeah, there you go. Extra incentive to buy a BYD. Kevin, hello, Kevin. Nice of you to join us. He often joins us from Lakeland, Florida. Thank you. And yeah, Tesla EV1 makes a good point. Well, if the charges are tritium, then reliability is definitely questionable. Kempower or Alpetronics or Delta are quite reliable. Did I see too that the tritium shares have gone down as well? I thought I read that this week.
Yeah, I think they might be getting stuck off either wherever they're listed in the US, if they can't hold the rundown on their share price. Because I think every company that gets listed either on the NASDAQ or the Wall Street, Dow Jones, has to maintain a certain liquidity on their stock price or whatever. So yeah, tritium, obviously reliability issues, but then obviously the stock price is now reflecting the real world challenges that they're facing as well.
That's right. That's pretty much why they're in trouble at the moment. Not to mention, of course, the reliability issues that they've been experiencing that we've documented very much on this channel. Thank you, Daniel, for joining us as a new member. Appreciate that. Thank you. And what have we got? Gaffer's got a link for us for EV chargers. Okay, so that's their game plan. Maybe have a look at that if you're interested. Al says, I'm sure it has some rack batteries installed. You could fit 100 kilowatt hours at least in that enclosure. Riz, you were asking that before. Cool. And thank you also, Ben, new member. Appreciate it. And Tassie Thalasan, thank you for the $2 as well. Thank you. Appreciate it. Jez, hey Jez, nice to see you. Background progress stalled.
Look, sorry, Jez, I'll let you down, but I do have an addition. Let me see if I can share that.
Oh, breaking news, everyone. Let's see what he's got.
We've got a red Model 3. I think it's performance. It's got the wheels from the Chinese, I think the performance pack, and the doors open. So there is a subtle addition, but I'm waiting to get big ASIC and Nike banners behind me once they sponsor me for their runners. Sponsorship.
Riz, is that the first Highland 3 that's been spotted in Australia that you've just got there?
Oh,
well, it could be. It could very well be. I think one of the European cars accidentally ended up in my house. So
they know you're here, Riz. They had to send one to you, and it's got red brake calipers, so it must be a performance one.
It does actually. Speaking of which, 2 days ago I saw 3 trucks heading towards Mulgrave here in Melbourne. All Model 3s on there were the current generation cars, so no Highland spotted as of yet.
Done. Okay. Keep our eyes peeled, everyone. Or ears peeled and eyes open. Thank you, Charles. Supercharger news. 12 stall at Yass is nearly complete. That's the New South Wales Supercharger. 9 stall at Holbrook. Just spotted today. Also looking nearly done. Yeah, look at these. All these Tesla supercharging spots just popping up just very quietly, gents. It's good to see, right?
Awesome.
The more the merrier. Okay, let's keep going with the comments. So Ben, our new member, says there's a Tesla supercharger on the way to Noosa Maroochydore, which is about 40 minutes drive south. Works well. Yep, that's right. It's good. Thanks, everyone. Just keep your comments coming. I can also see someone saying that Malaysia or someone from Malaysia reviewed a new Model 3 as well. So it's good to see some more real-world reviews coming out. Robin Jules, hello there. Deal with Uber and BYD for 10,000 Atto 3s. Yes, that's right. So that was announced today, wasn't it? Deal with Uber rideshare and BYD.
So what do we think? Do you I don't know too much about the details of this deal, but would it be easy enough for Uber drivers to make a Atto 3 purchase? I see a fair few of them around, so I guess Uber drivers are buying them, and they're a great car.
I remember chatting to a gentleman at a charger recently who actually bought an Atto 3, I think, for that purpose, to drive Uber around. So you're looking at 51,000. And if you've got this plan that Uber's bringing out, potentially, I think Sixt is involved as well, I think. You can rent one and then use it for Uber. That could be, a way to go.
That would be a similar sort of deal to what Hertz has with Uber with their Tesla fleet in the US. So good idea if that's what's going to happen. They can lease a car and drive it for Uber and just, slowly pay it back type of thing. I think that would work well.
Yeah, as opposed to forking out capital or 51 grand to buy a car, you can lease one or rent one and then earn money on top of that. I've seen other countries do this just for normal cars. I'm not sure if Australia has a similar deal with other ICE cars where you can rent one for Uber and then make money off it. So yeah, it's good to see different models there. Yeah, cool. And Matt's saying Seal is definitely an easier transition to EVs, especially for older drivers compared to Model 3. That'll be stalkless, etc. I mean, not just older drivers. I mean, just people in general are used to cars being what they are. They've been for the last century, right? So a Seal might be a better way to go for some people. Kangaroo Island TV says, I'd take the Seal over the 3 if I hadn't already got the Polestar 2. I'll be cool there because the Polestar 2 is quite a premium vehicle as well. So, okay. So Ben saying I got the message from BYD as well saying we could get an extra $500 off an Atto 3 in Queensland. Okay, so it's not just confined to New South Wales. Thank you. And Rahul, Tassie EV1's confirming with you that yes, it's the NASDAQ that we're almost at the point of being delisted from. That's for Tritium. Cool. Hi, Des has got a comment. Hi, Jens, long-term podcast listener. Ordered Seal Dynamic on night of launch after putting in order for MG4 Essence 6 months ago. The LFP battery did it for me along with bells and whistles and price. Yeah, that's true. Good point there. LFP battery for all variants for the Seal, including 82 kilowatt hours, as opposed to Model 3 long range is back to NMC or nickel-based batteries too. So regular charging 100%. Good point. Jazz is asking you, Riz, is that Tom's old Tesla shrunk down?
It actually is. That's why it's still got the traditional lights. Sorry, I tricked everyone. Doesn't got the Highland one yet.
Yeah.
So yes, it is actually that same car.
It's like an Ant-Man, right? The little disc they had. Shrink it down. Cool. Oh, comment from Stanley. You got a call from Tesla today about the Highland delivery. Ooh, got to return their call tomorrow, but it looks like January delivery. Maybe Model 3 long range. Yeah, I've still got my Model 3 Highland order as well. So I did get a call last week about that. They said December, January. So sorry, not December, January to March. So it's still no new information as yet. Cool. Okay, Peter says, Atto 3 is just a teeny bit too low range for Uber. Peter drives an Uber Model 3, by the way. 5 hours of suburban driving. If you have 32 amps at home and take a long lunch, maybe. Hard to rely on DC chargers being available during the daytime. Yeah, that's another issue, Jets. Driving a non-Tesla around, having to rely on non-Tesla DC chargers. Again, reliability comes into play. You kind of want chargers that work, especially if your income depends on it, being an Uber driver. So, yeah.
So one of the ways that Uber drivers are getting around that, in my area at least, is that they are actually plugging in overnight into the AC chargers, which are actually free, because the DC chargers do cost you. And at nighttime, there's no parking restrictions on the AC chargers as well. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Because generally when I go shopping, or if I take the kids swimming, or just want to head out for a little bit, plug into the AC chargers, not the DC chargers. But they're generally taken up by either the Model 3s or the Atto 3s, which generally when you plug into the DC charger, you talk to these people and just like, yep, I drive Uber and this is free, so I'm just plugging it in. So there you go.
Yep. That's fair game if it's free. Yeah, I mean, it's not anyone's charger. Go for it. There's no restrictions on those, generally speaking. Cool. Let's take another comment. Yes, good point, Hal. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, Tesla has opened up a new service center in Parramatta, which is in Sydney's west, which is fantastic for those who live out in the west of Sydney. You've got a service center out there as well, which is great. Oh, Gabriel, thanks so much. Thanks, Tom, for the Novator lease referral. Yes, have reserved a Highland and looking forward to it. So if anyone has seen my video, and if Chris is watching too, he provided the real-world data on Novator leasing for a Model 3. If you want a referral to a Novator leasing company, then drop me an email. I can send you a referral that way. So if your employer doesn't have one yet, I can steer in the right direction. Cool. Ross is saying driving Uber and Atto 3, and it's great. Many people in Brisbane do it. Yeah, seeing certainly more green Ubers around, not just Camry hybrids, but actual EVs running around too, which is good. Yeah, Tassie EV1 respectfully disagrees. I think the Atto 3 has enough range depending on where you live and what jobs you take as an Uber driver. Yeah, that's a good point. I think the Atto 3, I've proven it can drive 400 kilometers in the real world. I think, that's more than enough for most people. In an urban setting, and even in some regional settings too, that's probably enough to get around for most situations. I'll just show this really quickly before we get to more comments. So this is the Model 3 showcase in Malaysia. Look at that. How come they get cars before us, Riz? What's going on?
See,
not fair.
We're trying to work this out. I guess Tesla. I have heard that there is something happening in Melbourne on the, I think, 11th of November at a Tesla showroom in Mulgrave. But I may be wrong. I've heard something's happening, but I don't think it's a reveal of any sort. In markets like right-hand drive markets like Malaysia and Hong Kong, they've done them in shopping centers and other special locations, like these sort of unveilings. And it doesn't look like it's at Tesla stores. I'm not sure about this one. But yeah, maybe if you hear something odd, like, Tesla's unveiling something at Chatston or, one of the big Sydney malls, then that's probably it. But at this stage, we haven't heard anything more.
Yeah, this certainly does look like a shopping center that they've done this at. And that's the kind of exposure that I guess is good. People can come and just look at it and touch it, as opposed to feeling overwhelmed at a dealership. So I think that's definitely the way to go. They look good, definitely, in that new red and the new grey as well.
Yeah, just to clarify, even though the poster didn't mention it, these are the new Model 3 Highland versions.
Yep, the new refresh ones. Let's take a quick break, and thank you to our sponsors once again, Carloop, Warbox, and Evee at the halfway point. Thank you so much to these companies that sponsor our live stream. If you want a coupon code for a discount for Warbox and Evee, check out the video description below for a coupon code for a discount. I want to show you guys really quickly this one. So this is the Toyota all-electric truck at the Tokyo Auto Show. It's clearly still a concept. What do you guys think of this?
Looks good if it becomes a production car soon.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like the Ranger. Looks like the Hilux. It's good. I think we need more of these for sure. We need Toyota to up their game a bit. This is definitely still a render.
I think Toyota just need to figure out what world are they going to live in. Are they going to live in a world where we see EVs, or a world where they see petrol, diesel, hybrids? Because some of that communication and marketing from Toyota is downright bad, dare I say, to try and be polite.
Yes. Yeah, they've been very slow off the mark, and almost to the point where they're saying EVs are not the future. So this is hopefully something they'll bring out, because I think Australia needs more of this for sure. It's just keeping on Toyota. So this is the kind of stuff they sometimes say. This is from a Toyota executive. EVs generally don't make sense in countries like Australia, where the majority of electricity comes from coal-fired power stations, says Sean Hanley, Toyota Australia VP of Sales. Model Y is the best-selling overall car or SUV in Australia, Sawyer goes on to say. And then the VP of Sales in Toyota Australia continued to say, right now, hybrid electric vehicles are a better fit than BEVs for most consumers. They're more affordable and don't require charging infrastructure. They're cars for the masses, not for the few, he told Australian journalists. Laughing face emoji.
So just on what Sean said, I was at the All Energy conference in Melbourne, and Toyota's Australian head office is also just down the road in Port Melbourne. I don't recall seeing Sean there, learning more about what the renewable energy transition we're going through and where we actually get the electricity from. So yeah, I'm sure he's been advised by very solid energy advice as to what transition our country is going through. But yeah, it's so misleading. Like, we're talking about someone that is sort of, leading sales for the #1 brand in Australia. And I don't know if he has looked at the sales figures recently, but I'm sure Model Y did better than the RAV4. So, yeah. And
I know which car will come to you sooner if you order one between a RAV4 and a Model Y. You get a Y pretty soon. And then, I love Sawyer's tongue-in-cheek comment. Model Y is the best-selling overall car or SUV in Australia, as Riz has often said in his articles for The Driven. #1 passenger vehicle, and then after the Utes, Ranger and Hilux. So that's where the money is.
It literally is mind-boggling that you've got a company like BYD on one side who are betting everything on the future of electrification of cars, fleets, bringing out so many models. And then you've got a company like Toyota, which has had a massive presence in Australia for such a long time and still struggling to adapt or to bring EV models to the country. And I mean, you look at Sawyer Merritt with the laughing emoji there. What people don't realize is that Sawyer's got over 500,000 followers on X, which means that he's got some serious cred as well. If he's having a laugh, you can just imagine what his followers think of Toyota as well, with their EV offerings. Toyota, and we've said this before on the live streams,
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of mixed messaging, isn't there? On the one hand, you've got comments like this, and on the other hand, they're releasing stuff like that Ute or concepts of. They're just not sure where the direction. Well, I mean, Sean's very clear that it's the hybrid still that's going to power Australia for years to come. But it's mind-boggling as well, as you said. Very interesting.
We touched on this last week or the week before on the live stream around the Ute that they brought over from Thailand, and they accelerated the testing process and assessments by companies who run large fleets of Utes. And in that same article, because I wrote it for The Driven, I'm sure Sean himself said they were surprised by the amount of torque that this powertrain offers, and it's going to be a great city Ute. So just, but the commentary that Sawyer's got here is the typical Sean Toyota Australia commentary around EVs. And yeah, there's nothing, and I just don't know whether it'll be too late for them by the time, a lot of these manufacturers catch up. Like, there's only so much catching up Toyota can do when BYD and Tesla are sort of speeding ahead. And same with Hyundai and Kia Group. They're taking this very seriously.
Yep. Polestar, Volvo, MG, they're all doing it. Yep. Yeah, don't say we didn't warn you, Toyota. Like, don't wake up one day and be surprised and go, "Wow, what happened?" It just completely caught us off guard. Like, hey, we've been doing this live stream for how many months now, and I've been doing my channel for a few years. Like, we've been following all this stuff, and it's not new. This is the revolution happening in front of our eyes here. So, interesting times ahead. Let's take some comments. We've got a question from Zeus. Hey guys, been thinking about buying a second-hand. I assume you mean EV. Can you outline the process for it and things to watch out for? I usually just buy from a dealer, so paying is pretty easy. Not sure about second-hand. So for me, number one thing would be to look at the battery, I guess. Make sure, that's the bulk of the cost of an EV and the weight too. Make sure the battery is still within acceptable, health for the age of the vehicle. I think ask the seller what the projected range is of the vehicle. That's probably the easiest way at 100%. Yeah, and if you can find I think Tesla often, if it's a Tesla, they often give graphs on where they think the battery should be at a certain age as well. So that's probably a useful guide to go off, a nomogram. And yeah, that's probably the easiest way. And then other things like, obviously, there's no encumbrance on the vehicle. It's not a write-off, not a repair, just general stuff like that. Gents, any other insights?
I guess just knowing how old the vehicle is and the battery warranty. So if it's a 3-year-old Tesla, it will have around 5 years of battery and drivetrain warranty left on it. And most manufacturers are the same. So that's one sort of piece of assurance that you may have when you're considering those vehicles, because battery and drivetrain warranties, longer than the traditional car warranty. For traditional cars, people say get an inspection done by RACV or other certified inspectors. Redbook does it as well, but I don't know how well trained or attuned they are to EVs just yet. But given, most Teslas, as Tom said, if you've seen that they haven't been written off, or, it's all pretty clear, you can buy a PPSR report. It's $2. And it gives you whether the car's been stolen or written off. So do your due diligence and have a look at the range, as Tom's mentioned as well. But just generally speaking, if it's under warranty, and let's say you're buying it off one owner, then generally speaking, it would be all right. I mean, if they say that it's only been driven to church on a Sunday, then there's more to the story than what meets the eye.
Yeah, take those comments with a grain of salt, for sure.
Yeah, I think my only thing that I would add there is, and Tom, you've sold a couple of EVs as well, and we know what us EV owners are like. We like looking after our cars. When you're going to sell it, even though you're going to sell it to somebody else, you want to make sure that it's in going to good hands as well. So yeah, generally that experience has been a positive experience. Even when we sold our Model 3 before we got the Model Y as well. We sold it through Pickles Auction. But yeah, we got a good price for it and we jumped at it. So many EV cars on sale on car sales as well. But yeah, do your homework, do your due diligence, pay that $2 for the PPSR report. But yeah, just the choices there are just getting better and better with each month passing.
And a good, honest question to ask the seller is, why are you selling? I think that's quite a good, reasonable thing to ask. Are they selling because they are buying something else? There's something wrong with the vehicle? That's always a good one. And then sometimes they write it too on the description. So, yeah, it can tell you a lot of things. Good question, though. Question: any tips, tricks dealing with personal AC charger installations in apartment buildings? Ooh, can of worms here. Body corp can be tricky to deal with, but have mains power in my car bay. Public charging and just deal with it? Question mark. Just as a segue to this article, I'll just put it up here from the Driven as well. New South Wales government to add $10 million to add EV chargers to apartment buildings. So that's on the horizon. If I'm not wrong, I think it's mandated that new buildings must have EV chargers now. It could be, I have to double check on my source on that. I remember reading that in the past, but this is for retrofitting apartment buildings in New South Wales too. So good to see New South Wales leading the charge from that point of view, so to speak. So this grants are for buildings with 10 or more apartments, and they'll co-fund up to 80% or maximum of $80,000 for the necessary upgrades and purchase up to 4 chargers, which is great. I need more of these around. How you deal with strata? Yeah, it can be tricky. Sometimes we've had people in the past do it successfully, and I've posted videos as well on my channel. What generally does tend to work is if you join the committee, if you can. That way you can make your views heard. A lot of these apartment buildings too are now, or the strata is concerned about fire risk as well. So if you can educate them and find resources around the truth on fire safety and EVs. Not to say it's not an issue. It is something they should be worried about. EVFiresafe.com is a good resource. Have a look at that. Get some facts on EV fire safety. And I think that's probably it. Just the discussions need to be open if you can. If you've got the time to talk with your body corp. But otherwise, in the meantime, yeah, it's public charging for you. If you can have one nearby, that can help you with that. Some more street chargers though popping up in, at least in Sydney, I've seen. Look pretty cool. There's some in Bondi at the moment, North Bondi, run by ChargeFox. All right, let's take some more comments. So Jason said that he visited the mega store in Alexandria. That's where the Seal is at the moment too. Quite a few people looking at the Seal, which is good. Okay, so yeah, Manuel's saying Car Expert has at least 3 anti-EV articles this week. Interesting. So
I think the main reason why, because car companies that are selling loads of EVs are traditionally not really advertising with Car Expert. And this comes in the same week as apparently the valuation of Car Expert is approaching $50 million after raising a new round of funding. So, I think if they saw that the writing's on the wall that people want EVs and they do the right thing and educate people rather than put out clickbaity titles of their articles that are just going to fuel the fire, so to speak, they need to do the right thing. They need to see what's happening, and people are buying EVs and they're going to continue to do so regardless of how many anti-EV articles they write, because they're not getting ad sponsorships from those brands.
As you said, Riz, more educational stuff as well, like as we said, around fire safety, around stuff like installing chargers at body corporates, stuff that actually is going to add to the conversation. And, comparing, doing proper comparisons too. So, yep, good point. Okay, so Manuel as well saying, I'm about to walk past the Toyota dealership on my way to the gym. It's looking like an antique store. Yeah, yep, like an old camera shop, hey? Sad but true. Let's see, keep going. Will you guys do a video when the new Model 3 is delivered? Yeah, of course. I'm happy to let any of you from Melbourne do a film. Hey, gents, there you go. If you're keen. Plus, we'd love to do a third-party accessory recommendation list as well. Get those runners on, Riz. Ben's saying Toyota are just making up excuses for their slow and poor attempt at moving to full EVs. Most Australians live in a capital city and do not need more than 400 kilometers of range. This is the kind of thing we should talk about more. We don't need, like 1,000-kilometer range without stopping. Who can drive that far without stopping, right? What's the 90% of people live in capital cities? That's a really good point, Ben. Or in a regional center. So we don't need that kind of range.
Every Toyota driver can.
You can, but do you need to? This is the thing, right? It's a big country, there's no doubt, Australia. But how often do you actually go for such a long drive? Honestly. Okay, thank you, Jez, for this $10. Appreciate it. Okay, face up, gentlemen. Who altered Elon's Wikipedia page? I'm thinking Hollywood Riz. Hollywood Riz, the name is back, is the likely culprit. Maybe Rahul, but Tom looks guilty too. Maybe it was three of you, the three Musketeers. Nice.
I've been caught out. Basically, I even took a flight to Wollongong so that my IP address was from Wollongong and that it looked like Nash did it. But I've been, Jez, you caught me. Sorry.
Caught red-handed. Nice. Yeah, thank you, Ian. He says, interesting to know that some employers offer free EV charging, free for 3 hours. Yep. Oh, shout out to the company I spoke to during the week, and they had EV charging as well on site. So very good to see. If your employer offers EV charging, that's the golden ticket. If you own an EV, you can get free charging on site during your work hours. How good is that?
So free charging, does that mean that there's some sort of a data exchange there where you may not get your data back if it's an Optus store? Too soon. It's good. Employers, we need them to offer free charge. Well, we need them to offer charging because not everyone has the ability to charge at home.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's a way around if you don't have off-site charging, off-street charging at home. So shout out to Equinix, who I spoke at during the week, and they've got on-site charging, which is great. So I topped up my EV Tesla when I was speaking to the audience there. So thank you.
Speaking of that free charging as well, I mean, think about it in the future. If you are applying for a job or an employer is trying to get you to come across to them, hey, we give you novated leasing. And if you drive an EV to work, we offer you free parking along with free charging as well at work. If that's where you're going to spend most of your day or your working day anyway, and you get free charging with novated leasing, what a great carrot to dangle, right? For employees. Yeah,
that's right. Between two employers, if you've got the luxury of choosing between your next employer, pick the one with EV charging, right? Little carrot there. And Ben continues to say, and there's little point buying a long-range EV and only using the extra 150 kilometers of range 1% of the time because they're heavier cars. Yep, that's right. And not worth lugging around that extra weight if you rarely use it. Yep. Great point, Ben. Abby says 163 watching. Yeah, it's we had 400 plus roll, didn't we, that night when Hollywood Riz was at BYD? So it's good.
No, it was 49,700, Tom, because they ended up on the BYD's website and making it crash. So
that's it. Yeah, we contributed to that crash, I'm sure. Oliver says my apartment building is installing some new chargers. That's great. I asked Strata about it, and they will be organizing it. I'm part of the committee, and most people in the building was towards EV chargers. That's good. Excellent.
That's amazing. Great to see. Yeah, body corporates coming around to that. Yeah.
Yep. And Hal makes a good point. A diesel SUV just burnt down an airport car park in the UK. I think that was in Luton, right? That was recently. We showed that recently on the stream. So fire protection applies to all vehicles, 100%. Yep. Yeah, but diesel petrol cars more likely to catch fire. Yet suddenly everyone's talking about EV fires. Yes. What else have we got? The Driven needs more clickbait articles, Riz. My EV saved my weekend,
no.
maybe.
Look, as most of you know, I don't always choose the titles that go with those articles. I just write away like one of those cats typing away, and eventually it goes up to the top and they choose whatever. But if they decide they want to do more of that, then yeah, we do. We need to counteract those anti-EV clickbaity articles.
Yeah, you just do the hard work, Riz. That's it. Yeah. Yes, a house saying Toyota just recalled 15,000 CHR vehicles for a fuel pump issue that can lead to fires. There you go. Fires happen everywhere. Yeah, Robski's saying toilet break doesn't take 45 minutes to top up a charge. I think that's their point. Well, it's not a 5-minute pit stop at a petrol station either. Like, you still got to go in and pay. Sometimes there's a queue. Sometimes you do need to go to the toilet. Who says a toilet break doesn't take 45 minutes? Depends what you ate at the petrol station, right? Sorry, could help myself. Bandanaz is saying, I had a Honda Jazz. I asked Honda about any EVs coming out. They said Honda Australia isn't ready for EVs yet. Oh, they copy and paste the Toyota one. We've got hybrids. I went and bought a Model Y. Nice.
So, just this is a bit of a car nerd comment. For any Honda fans, if they've opened the bonnet of a sports Honda Civic Type R, on top of the engine bay, it has Honda's slogan. You know, we sometimes joke around about build your dreams on the back of BYDs. Do you guys know what it says on top of an engine bay of a Honda Civic Type R? And this is no BS. It says Earth Dreams. Look it up. It says Earth Dreams. Honda is clearly conscious about, the planet Earth and the dreams people have about it, which is we want a cleaner planet, not something that pollutes. But clearly everything that they're doing, along with Toyota, is delaying the inevitable towards a cleaner Earth, which is our dream. And I don't think they understand that very well. Unfortunately, dealers are very, they're in the business of selling cars. And whatever excuse they can find to convince, let's say, the less initiated people, they will continue to do that to sell hybrids. They were doing the same thing when they didn't have hybrids, saying petrol is what you want, hybrids are crap. And now they're saying the same thing about EVs. So we'll find out. But Honda has released electric SUV in the UK and in other markets, and apparently it's a good one. So we need that here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we need a Japanese car brand doing the right thing and bringing out EVs, that's for sure. Lead the way, Honda. Lead the way. Speaking of Japanese brands, so Solterra, I think it's the Subaru EV. Early details. Base model, low 80s, high-end 80s. Okay. My source is my local Subaru dealer. Delivery early February. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that one.
I think the pricing is already available in New Zealand, and it is that high. I think the base model is 79,990, which is their clean car discount. But if that clean car discount wasn't there, it would be in its 80s.
Not cheap, that's for sure. Speaking of New Zealand, actually, I'll just quickly segue to this. So this is Gavin Shoebridge from New Zealand saying the MG X-Power has been spotted in Auckland. So this is the performance MG4. 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds, 320 kilowatts, under 70 grand. I assume that's New Zealand dollars. I think it's 60 something here in Australia, guys, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a pretty good buy, honestly. Nice looking car too.
Looks fantastic. Will sell well when it gets here. Definitely.
Yep. Hopefully MG will lend me one in the not too distant future. Test that one out around our streets. That'd be cool. Okay, let's look through some of these comments really quickly. So let's see. So question for Riz. Did we find out how many seals got pre-ordered?
1,000 or around about 1,000.
Yep, I think we answered that earlier, so thank you for that reminder for those who just joined us. Okay, so Hal, comment for you, Riz, too. If Riz needs clickbait, just cut and paste the articles from the EV King. Okay.
Oh.
Yes, that guy. Okay. Ben says, having said that, if you have a lot of solar PV, having an EV or even a long-range version can add value, as you can use it as a huge mobile battery pack, especially if you work from home, if FITs are dropping. Yep. As a counter to that, guys, Tesla says built on Earth by humans. I've seen that a few times.
That's cool.
Yep. Hint, always have some dried prunes in the Tesla. 45 minutes. Wow. Yep. Okay. Long toilet break. Potentially messy. Mania says, seen a truckload of performance MG4s, the X-Power, yesterday in Victoria. Good. One for you, Riz. Get your shoes on. Oliver saying, I saw a white MG4 X-Power on my small street yesterday. Cool. Yep, Oliver, send those pictures over. I'll post them definitely on our channels for sure. Gents, we're coming up to the hour mark. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we need to talk about urgently before we wrap up.
Yeah, I think you wanna finish off with the Cybertruck with the Riz. Take it away. I know you discussed this on Saturday, but I think that's a good way to finish for the audience.
Well, that's right. And before we start, there is a bit of a waiver. We don't condone any gun violence.
Oh yes.
On this show. But having said that, there's been some testing done, very scientific testing by the team at Tesla Engineering around, let's say, how bulletproof is the Cybertruck. Apparently, the body is pretty good.
Now, apparently, these weren't the bullets weren't like, something about the bullets, different type of gun or something. But this is basically showing the Cybertruck being shot at, and it passed with flying colors, so to speak. Tesla Cybertruck underwent Al Capone-style bulletproof testing, Elon Musk reveals.
So we don't know the thickness of the steel that they're using at the moment, but looks pretty good. I'm not sure what a Tommy gun is. Tom, do you know what it is?
I assume it's something used to shoot people. Sorry, I don't know my guns that well. Let's see if I can find a picture of a Tommy gun for you. Not that we condone that kind of thing here on this channel. I'm thinking a Gatling gun. No, that's different.
Yeah, I don't know.
A Thompson submachine gun. There you go.
Yeah,
I've seen these in movies.
Kind of like a machine gun. I think it holds like 27 rounds or something like that. But yeah, I think this is the reason why they would do it, right? I mean, you look at on the weekend the F1 race in Austin. Elon Musk turned up with his son X in Cybertruck. Franz von Holzhausen, who's the chief designer of Tesla, drives around in the Cybertruck as well. Elon Musk has done interviews and reviews of the Cybertruck with Jay Leno. So yeah, a lot of celebrities driving as well. So in the US, obviously, you want to be, seen as having that next level stainless steel armor plated body on that car. If that's how much money you're going to spend on a car, and riding it as a celebrity, and for safety issues as well. So just a great looking car.
Yeah, just on the Cybertruck as well. So this is like the Cybertruck charging from a V4 supercharger. So this is the Tesla chargers with the longer cable, which will be great for vehicles that don't have the port on the left side. Then you can just wrap it around anywhere and plug in. So that's good. And apparently the new ones also have the credit card facility too, where you can tap and go instead of having to use an app too. So there we go. Tesla Cybertruck charging from V4. There's another close up there. Nice. Just above the wheel arch. Cool. Nice one, gents. And thank you everyone for telling me what a Tommy gun is. Yeah, it was the gun I thought was thinking of with the rounds that you see in old style movies. So cool. Rightio. Awesome. Jets, thank you so much for joining us as always. I think that might be the hour up. Good to chat as always. Lots to talk about as always on the news with regards to EVs. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight on the stream as well. Appreciate it. We had 174 people watching now. So fantastic. So thanks for your comments and questions. And if you're watching a replay, make sure you join us and leave a comment too that way. And thanks for listening to us on audio podcast. Riz, thank you so much as always.
Anytime, Tom and the crew. Awesome to see everyone here and lots of good comments, discussions, and keep spreading the good word. And don't do what Sean does at Herda. Go and spread the positive message around EVs. But yeah, no, awesome. Lots happening. One last comment. I don't know if we touched on this or not, but BYD Dolphin deliveries begin this week. So their first cars will be delivered before the end of the week. So Australia's most affordable car, not only a 5-star rated or ANCAP rated vehicle, also happens to be the most affordable EV. So yeah, there's a lot of good things happening in the EV space.
Yep. They're looking forward to doing a real review of that once the legitimate journalists get their hands on one and do their reviews. So stay tuned. Rahul, thank you very much from chilly Melbourne.
Tom and Riz, thank you. And thank you to the audience again. Obviously, you and Riz will be back again on Saturday morning, I believe. So, yeah, if you don't know the audience, we never sleep. Our phones are always with us. They're always buzzing. We're always keeping our fingers on the pulse and bringing you the latest, the best, and the breaking news in the EV world. So, yeah, stay tuned for the next round, which is Saturday.
That's right. We'll try and keep our channel clickbait free as much as we can. Just the facts, just the news. So thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Riz. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. As Rahul said, we are back on Saturday, as always, at 8 a.m. Actually, not sure which time yet, but around 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. We'll confirm with you sometime in the next few days. But we'll be there, definitely, sometime on Saturday morning. So thanks, everyone. Until the next Ludicrous Feed stream, happy charging and take care. Bye now. See ya.